Euromaxx highlights. Coming up on the show. Best of Bavaria. Local specialities top the bill at the annual Oktoberfest. By invitation only, how the German president receives important visitors in style. And man of many talents, introducing film director, musician, and actor Emir Kusturica. Euromaxx. And here's your host, Robin Merrill.
And a very warm welcome from Berlin. We begin with a hut in the Swiss Alps, which may not seem at first a Euromaxx highlight, but wait till you see it. It's a futuristic, environmentally friendly building set in a moonlight landscape up in the mountains. It's also a very sophisticated lodge where hikers can spend the night. The Monte Rosa hut has been dreamt up by students of the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich.
In the shadow of the Matterhorn lies Zermatt, one of the best-known holiday resorts in Switzerland. In the winter, it's teeming with skiers. In the summer, it's hikers who dominate the scene. You can climb to altitudes of more than 4,000 meters above sea level here. On your way up, at about 2,900 meters, a very untraditional building awaits you, the new Monte Rosa Mountain Hut. The first visitors to the lodge were fascinated by its architecture.
This is a new picture for the mountain. Perfect. What is the first impression? It's magnificent. I mean, if you see it from down, it's very nice, and we like it.
It's a really cosmic. This building looks like the space ship. Nice, very nice.
The lodge, with views of the Matterhorn and Monte Rosa, wasn't designed by a famous architect, but by a group of 33 architecture students from the Technical University of Zurich, commissioned by the Swiss Alpine Club. Outside, an aluminum facade. Inside, the wooden simplicity of a traditional mountain lodge.
The interior is structured around a central axis in segments. There are 10 segments per floor in a 5-story building, so there are 50 modules. They all face different directions. That means visitors are always aware of the 360-degree panorama of the countryside. They can always catch glimpses of this gorgeous landscape.
The new Monte Rosa hut is a technological milestone. The students' concept envisions the building producing up to 90% of its own energy through solar cells and heat collectors.
The special thing about this mountain lodge is that it actually combines conventional energy sources in a unique way. The aim is to provide an exemplary demonstration of sustainable use of resources and in harmony, not as technology and architecture, but as something that unites it all in an all-inclusive project.
Alpine building is a logistical challenge. The prefabricated timber elements that form the framework of the lodge had to be airlifted into the mountains with a helicopter and assembled after arrival. After being insulated, the building was covered in aluminum cladding. The new lodge was finished a year after the foundation stone was laid.
The difficulty was the limited building time available. It meant that during the short summer months, the entire building had to be erected and weatherproofed.
The sleeping berths in the upper stories are in traditional wood, 120 beds in all. The stairwell, with its panoramic windows, spirals down through the entire guest quarters, allowing a view of the outside wherever you are. The heart of the lodge is the dining room on the ground floor, a perfect place for tired hikers to meet. If you can bear to take your eyes off the landscape, you will discover the carvings on the wooden beams.
These are digital wood carvings. This motif was generated by computer according to certain parameters and carved or cut with the same kind of machine that was used in building and assembling the wooden framework.
A last drink before the descent, which takes about 5 hours. But if you're footsore and your budget allows it, you can take an air taxi back down to the valley.
To the biggest beer festival in the world, the Oktoberfest in Munich, which is drawing to a close now, but we went along earlier this week to sample not the beer, but the food. It's predominantly Bavarian cuisine there, so we got a local expert to show us round and explain what's on the menu.
Munich's Oktoberfest is not only famous for its beer, it's also renowned for its traditional cuisine. For years, the Käfer tent has been famous for its culinary specialties. The festival's head chef Andreas Schienhal knows what visitors to the annual Wiesn Extravaganza expect.
People want to experience a good atmosphere, good weather, and the Bavarian way of life. And that means above all a beer, roast chicken, knuckle of pork, and a few sausages.
The Käfer also has really long opening hours. Its 57 chefs start work at 8 a.m. each morning. Every year they prepare food for up to 180,000 customers in a 300 square meter kitchen. All the ingredients of the dishes on offer must come from Bavaria, including the traditional Wiesn chicken and the classic Käfer duck. Every year, the chefs serve up about 10,000 of the ducks.
This is our classic main dish, the Käfer duck. It's typical for the festival because it's from Bavaria. Bavarians love duck. It's special because it's stuffed with a traditional mixture of herbs, onions and apples. Then they're put on spits and cooked over an open fire.
The other tents also have regional specialties on offer. Fischer Froni, for example, serves the popular fish on a stick. The fish is skewered and cooked in a row over coals.
It's still prepared the same way it was 100 years ago on the Danube. They used to dig a hole, fill it with charcoal, and grill it over the hollow. It's a Bavarian specialty. It's grilled over an open fire. Sometimes it's mackerel. If you're lucky, it'll be pike perch.
The next stop is the oxen roasting tent. Every day a whole ox is roasted here. Guests overcome by curiosity can even find out how much the animal originally weighed and what its name was. Some 100 oxen, that is 55 tons, are cooked at each festival.
We have here braised ox, sirloin steak, and blue roasted fillet of ox, very nicely roasted, with a béarnaise sauce and creamy mushrooms. It's a typical Wiesn dish, because the ox is roasted whole on a spit. We have an enormous spit for that. It's a specialty you can't get everywhere. And of course it has to be washed down with a jug of Wiesn beer.
Cheers. Now, I'm not mad about boats, but I'd love to take a trip on this one. The celebrated British architect Norman Foster has designed a super yacht full of superlatives. It was recently on show at the Monaco Boat Show, and Euromaxx was invited on board, together with some other exclusive guests.
As sleek as a dolphin, the Ocean Emerald is probably the most spectacular vessel currently sailing the world's seas. The super yacht was designed by world-renowned architect Norman Foster.
We've challenged a lot of conventions. It's different, radically different, not just for the sake of being different, but it offers so much more. And as a consequence, it looks different.
I can tell you this, it's the sexiest boat on any ocean in the world right now.
Bruce McLaren and Norman Foster are just two of the yacht's owners. In an arrangement that's as innovative as the boat itself, a total of 8 shareholders invested €2 million in the project. The plan was to develop the yacht as a team, but that's not what really happened.
Norman has his own ideas when it comes to design. I don't think he needed any advice from me, that's for sure. he's a perfectionist. He really has a vision of what he wanted in every little detail, because he designed not just the exterior structure and the architectural design, but everything, including down to the linens and the furniture.
Furniture which is easily movable, you can reconfigure it, and to offer a lot of choice. Hence my emphasis on the choice of outside spaces, 7 outside decks, as much space outside as inside.
It took more than 3 years to build the yacht. 41 metres long, it's 3,000 square metres of state-of-the-art luxury. Foster's design ensures that the interior is always flooded with light. When the Ocean Emerald weighs anchor at the Monaco Yacht Show in Monte Carlo, even royalty is impressed.
It's a beautiful design. It's a great concept. Of course, it's a little strange to have these 2 beams come out in the front of the boat when you're at the bridge.
The design means that the captain has to stay on his toes.
When in the cruising, when the Ocean Emerald underway, so you have to move. You don't have to sit just following the roads. So you have to be around, because this is two line just for visibility, but I don't have any problem.
The captain and his 7-strong crew are used to being flexible. The yacht is available to the 8 owners 34 days of the year. As share owner, Norman Foster is obviously a frequent guest.
Yeah, he wanted exactly, and after building, he just wanted to see how it work, what it look like. When you look at his building, it's exactly the same. So you just take from something from each part, just put on an Ocean Emerald. You just from shore to bring on the sea.
I have a feeling about water. I mean, I'm privileged to be able to have, to work on a great river, the Thames.
And perhaps it was the view from his office that inspired him to design a yacht and head off into the great blue yonder. His buildings include the Swiss Re Tower in London, the Reichstag, and the library of the Freie Universität in Berlin. What they have in common with the yacht is that people enjoy being in them.
I think you just want to make the best use of the time that you have available on a boat, when you have the total contrast with the urbanity of a city. The idea that I'm going to spend time on this boat like other owners, enjoying the contact with the water.
If the demand is there, 10 more yachts like the Ocean Emerald will be built in the next few years. That would then allow even more people to enjoy Norman Foster's super yachts.
That does look fantastic. This city, Berlin, is home to Bellevue Palace, the official residence of the German president. When there are state visits or foreign royalty here, this is where the president entertains them. We got a look behind the scenes at a recent royal visit with the man in charge of organising such events at the palace.
The Palace of Bellevue in Berlin is the official residence of the German president. This is where Horst Köhler receives important guests from Germany and abroad. Each official state visit, whether from Norway's royal couple or the British heir to the throne, Prince Charles, entails a meticulous and choreographed process. On today's agenda is a visit from Japan's Prince Hitachi and his wife. Chief of Protocol Martin Löhr oversees the preparations.
You
really have to know the political context, because it's not about protocol. That should always be in the background. It shouldn't push itself to the fore. We want to ensure that the political talks held by the president proceed in a positive environment.
Guests are seated according to rank. As host, the president takes his place in the middle of the table with the princess to his right. The prince is seated adjacent to them, with the wife of the president at his side. Today's menu doesn't feature any Japanese specialties. Instead, there's marinated filet of beef, brook trout, and chilled verbena tea. The president's chef, Jan Goran Barth, sees himself as an ambassador of German cuisine.
Here at
Schloss Bellevue we serve strictly German, regional or seasonal cuisine, meaning we don't serve strawberries during winter. We get our ingredients, like this beef fillet for instance, from Germany. We have special suppliers from northern Germany that are able to deliver top quality products.
Prince Hitachi and his wife are greeted by the German president in typical European fashion, with a handshake. While the visitors sign the guest book, Martin Löhr is preparing for the next item on the agenda. The names of the other invited guests from Japan and Germany are read aloud during the procession.
Frau Dr. Sensare und Herr Wenskowitz von der Kremerata Baltica.
The pair step forward to officially greet the host and royal couple.
The real art of protocol is in keeping the slip-ups out of sight. There's always something that goes wrong. It could be a technical mishap where something doesn't run how we imagine it. For instance, the elevator jams. Or we start pouring the wine, and instead of landing in the glass, it gets spilled.
But today, no wine is spilled and the event goes off without a hitch. All in all, a successful day for guests, hosts, and the staff working behind the scenes.
Now, Romania has just held its first international film festival in the city of Arad in the northwest of the country. One of the main stars of the festival was the acclaimed Serbian film director Emir Kusturica. Two of his films have won the top prize at Cannes. He's also a man of many talents, as he showed at the opening of the festival.
Film fans were treated to a taste of Kusturica's talents as a guitarist. The filmmaker's band gave a fast-paced performance, lending the night a Balkan flavor.
I must say that 10 years now, in this round, it makes me feel much better than, when I'm just directing, because it's much easier. You have to play your tunes, you have to be part of the band, but being on the stage of developing a movie, I feel like a heavy worker.
In the park behind Arad's town hall, you can see the fruits of Kusturica's hard work. The film festival is showing a retrospective of his most important films.
No. Well, I'm a major star in Europe. Foreign films?
I remember them very well because every film that I did was made with a heavy, because I'm a heavy person and I want everything to be perfect, even more than I could sustain, and every film was made with a great difficulty, so it's not like in Hollywood they say we had a fun. Because when you say I had a fun making a movie, might be you make a hit, but if you want to make art, you cannot have a fun, you have to fight for this.
Emir Kusturica feels right at home at the festival in Arad. The town's architecture is still partially a legacy of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Today, the city is home to Romanians, Serbs, Germans and Hungarians. Directors from across southeastern Europe are showing films at the festival. And one way or another, they've all been influenced by Emir Kusturica.
Sometimes I'll be sitting someplace and I'll look down and my legs will be crossed exactly like hers.
He gave self-confidence to Eastern European cinema. He's not afraid to step over, to make something that is a little beyond the measure.
Kusturica has now debuted as a lead actor in the French film L'Affaire Farewell. He's also a regular at the festival parties, where he keeps his eyes peeled for talent. He set up an artists' village, where he organizes film and music festivals, and now even an opera.
And now, as much as I'm getting older, more and more I want to do. To confirm this is my book that I'm finishing now, that is going to come out to the end of the year, and it will be published in France. And just to finalize this idea how much I'm curious and how much I want different things to be done by me.
Kusturica has already started on his next project, a movie about Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa, set to star Hollywood heavyweights Johnny Depp and Salma Hayek.
And if you want to watch some of those reports again or others from Euromaxx, you'll find us on YouTube under Deutsche Welle English. That's it. So until next time, bye-bye.